So I figured while I was doing this video, I'd do a little cleanup around here. This carpet gets really messy. For no reason. I don't really know why it gets so messy so fast. You know, always got to make sure you stay on top of vacuuming it up, right? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Future Tech video. Today I want to try and do a quick video. It's always challenging, so let's see if I can do it. But I want to talk about sound and the ways that you can improve your sound really quickly. So let's start with the most basic point. Try to get rid of your background noise. Turn off the vacuums, turn off the fans. If there's noise outside, shut the window. If you get rid of the noise, it'll make everything else a lot easier. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you how to prevent your family members from barging into your video calls. So stay tuned for that one coming up. So the first place I want to start is with headphones. I always wear headphones. I've got, my studio headphones. I've got in-ear monitors. I've got my AirPods. Actually, the Apple wired headphones are really a good option too. But the point is you don't want to have the sound bleeding out from your speakers into your microphone. That causes a lot of problems. And if you're doing an actual video that you're going to have on demand, it really makes it more challenging to edit. But it also can create feedback issues and all sorts of complications when you're on a video conference call as well. One thing I do want to mention about headphones, though, is I have had a lot of issues with Bluetooth headphones. These new AirPods Pros have been working really well for me, but one of the things that I've noticed that some people run into is there's a delay sometimes in the Bluetooth signal that becomes problematic when you're compounding it on top of the delay that's coming across the video conference. And then you get some weird breakups. And I notice a lot of times people think that their sound is dropping out because of a bad internet connection, but really it's a bad Bluetooth connection. So be careful of that. I find that wired headphones really work well. The mic on the Apple wired headphones can actually be really good for video conferencing, but it can also be good for these more on-demand kind of produced videos as well. Not the best microphone in the world to use, but not terrible either. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the importance of mic placement. You see, I have the Shure SM7B here. And this is a great microphone. It's the microphone that Michael Jackson sang Thriller on, right? But the thing about it is that all microphones benefit from you being close to the mic. When I get really on top of this mic, I get a very deep tone, right? That's called the proximity effect. And when I move away from the microphone, you can see that it gets increasingly echoey in here. And actually, if I step way back, I get a lot of room echo. And so the reason for that is that the impact of the sound on the microphone diminishes. It's an inverse square law as you step away from the microphone kind of situation. But when you get further away from the microphone, you are putting less sound pressure onto the microphone, so you're getting more of the background sounds mixed in. And then when you get more of the background sounds in, you're more susceptible to sound reflecting off of hard surfaces and creating a lot of echo. So one of the things I would recommend for you to do is try to get on top of the mic as much as you can, because that's going to improve your sound quality and reduce the impact of your room in the sound quality. Another thing I want to talk about is sound treatment. It's always better to have a room that has stuff in it, because if you are not bouncing sound off of right angles in your room, it's not going to be as echoey. So rooms that have plush furnishings like couches or carpets, things like that will help reduce the amount of reflection in the room and will make your sound less echoey and a little bit more intelligible. Another thing that I can recommend too is I use a whole wall of sound blankets. And those sound blankets really absorb a lot of that reflection, and they're pretty cheap. They're like $50, $60 shipped. And I'll put a link to a company that I really like, sound blankets. But you don't have to use these more professional sound blankets. You can use just packing blankets, and those work pretty well too. So think about ways to attenuate some of that reflection, and you'll get better sound. Another thing to be careful about is if you are really close to walls, like if you back yourself up right up against a wall, you're going to have a lot of reflection coming off that back wall into the microphone. So be careful of where you place yourself relative to the walls as well. Another great option too is getting lavaliers. They sell inexpensive lavaliers that you can clip onto your shirt. And those actually can improve your sound quite a bit. I like the Rode Lavs a lot. I can put a link for those as well in the description. One thing to consider is there's a couple different kinds of connections when you use Lavs. If you're going into an iOS type device, they're going to be TRRS, tip, ring, ring, sleeve. So those are the kinds of 3.5 millimeter connectors that iOS devices typically use because they have the control for the microphone and things like that. Now, if you're going into some other kind of recording device, it's probably just TRS, tip, ring, sleeve. So be sure you get the right kind of connector for the type of device that you're going to be using to record with. So those are some quick sound improvement tips that you can use for your video conferences. I think I've succeeded in keeping this fairly short. So if you like what you saw, click that like button. Hit that subscribe button because that helps a ton, and click on that bell icon if you want to get notifications when I post new content. And I will see you in the next video.